Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to demonstrate how to connect an external style sheet. So if you remember from the last tutorial, we just did a simple minimal markup here. We have our doc type here. You might want to remember that for the midterm. And this is the HTML5 doc type that's prepped. And what it does, it sort of tells the browser what the markup's coming next. So again, as we're in this transition from HTML4 to HTML5, you can recognize the difference. So this is the doc type for HTML5. Okay, so the first thing we'll see here's my markup and here's my web page, and it is in my index file. Just to sort of refresh the document structure, we have a underscore CSS folder. We have no CSS in there. We're going to make that in a moment. Then we have an underscore images folder, and then we have our index file. So the first thing we want to do, remember the external style sheet will be placed in the head element of the web page. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the link element, and it takes 3 attributes, and they don't really have to come in any order. So the first one is going to be relationship, and you see here I'm working in Text Wrangler. I'll kind of move in and out of different things. Sometimes I'll use Text Wrangler, sometimes I'll use Text Edit, and sometimes I'll use Dreamweaver, just to expose you to the different web editing HTML editors. So in the relationship element, we're going to say that it's a style sheet. The second element, again, these are not in any particular order, is the type attribute, and that's going to be text/CSS. And then we have the href element, which is actually the location to the style sheet. And you can see down here in what I'm working on that I want to place my external style sheet in the CSS folder. So I'm going to go ahead and make the relative path from the index file underscore CSS / and that file will be called style sheet.css. Then I close the link element. I'm going to kind of open this up. I'm going to try to make this font a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can make the font larger. Looks like it's going to be hidden in preferences. And I'm not sure where this is hidden, so I may abandon this in this tutorial. And I'm going to make it 14. That should make it easier to see. I'm not sure if that's going to take effect. Doesn't look like it did. Let's try to... Well, we'll just leave it at this size, and if this is a problem seen, should be okay. Okay, so there is our... I got an equal sign there. So what I need to do now is create a new file that will be my CSS file. So you see if I save this and refresh the browser, nothing happens because I haven't actually done anything in the markup and I have no style sheet. So I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to save it as, in Text Wrangler, a style sheet.css, and I'm going to place it in the folder that I'm working on here. So I'm going to go to my site, CSS, and save it in there. So you see now it's style sheet.css. One thing I want to do here, like I talked about in class, is that I just sort of like to make sure my connection from my external style sheet and my index file is working. So I'm just going to do a quick body element selector. I'm going to place the curly brace, and inside there I'm going to make the background color to red. And so now when I refresh this, it should turn red, and it has. Now I want to point out here, as I switch back to my index file, that you see that I've given it the path as underscore CSS. So if I come to my folder over here and I move my CSS into a different location from what this path is, If I save this and refresh the browser, you see that the style is no longer applied, but if I move that back into the CSS folder and then refresh the browser, you see the CSS style is fixed. So what I'm saying here is that you just need to make sure, if you ever have problems with your CSS style and it appears that none of the styles that you've written are taking, you need to check your relative path in your href attribute in your link element in your index file. And that concludes making an external style sheet for your web page.